Hello, everyone, and for your feminine, I am so excited for a really awesome Facebook Live tonight with Kaara Baptiste. She is such a sweetheart, but also a really grounded and strong and intelligent woman. And she's here, the lady in red, with these beautiful paintings that she actually made behind her. Yeah. So, Kaara, do you want to just introduce yourself, like where you live and a little bit about you?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kaara. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York, and that's where I am now, even though I had a short stint in California. I am a newspaper editor, and I've been doing that for a few years now. And yeah, I don't know what else to share, but yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. I appreciate the share, and I love that you have such a cool job. I always remember, you just doing really cool things with your work and your creativity and your eye for details. So, yeah. Well, I'm curious, what inspired you, Kaara, to do this work with me? I think you and I first connected like a little over a year ago, and just share a bit about what inspired you to do this work and kind of where you were at that point.
So yeah, we connected. I think I'd seen a webinar that you'd done, and I can't remember what it was about, but it had to do with like dating and attracting certain kind of men. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll take a look. And then I started getting emails that were like from you that were like really inspiring and things like that. And I remember I had hit a rough patch in my relationship, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I don't know, I reached out to you and I was like, hey, why not? Let's see. Let's talk to someone outside of myself to see like if I can get some insight. And so we chatted for a while, actually, for like an hour, and it was really helpful. And I said, all right, I'm ready to go into this thing. And that relationship ended a few weeks later. And that was a really tough time for me. I was really sad because it wasn't something I was necessarily expecting, and we'd been having a good time together. And so I was in a funk for like a couple of weeks, and I remembered, oh, like I spoke to Violet about questions or concerns that I had. I should totally update her. And so I reached out to you again to let you know like what had happened. And I remember in particular, you were actually on your honeymoon. I think you were in Thailand, I think. And
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that, but I emailed you and I said, I broke up with my boyfriend, and like I just wanted to thank you for your help before. And I'll never forget, like you emailed me from your honeymoon and were like, I'm on my honeymoon, but I just wanted to let you know, like I'm sending you a lot of love and support, and if you want to talk, we can talk. And I was like, yeah, I I want to connect with her and like find out more about like what she's about and like the resources through this program, like how it can be helpful to like move forward to rebuild after that breakup. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did such a beautiful job of finding yourself and connecting to yourself and, setting healthy boundaries, but living with an open heart. Like, can you just share a little bit more about what were some of the key insights or what were some of the things that evolved for you as we did our work together and beyond?
Oh, good question. I think when we first started the work, I think I was primarily focused on like not feeling so blue. And so, so I think the emphasis on like self-love and like just taking the time to kind of reaffirm like what I loved about myself, what was good about me, not seeing myself as like broken or like rejected or something, like that shift. So that was a very good like foundation to start, and just remembering like life, like the things that I enjoyed, like reconnecting or exploring new things. So that was a big thing. Also, just like the shift in mindset, realizing that like I was just really afraid of a lot of things that may or may not come to pass. And not just about relationships, but just like in general, like, what if I don't get this job? Like, what if I don't, move out of the state or whatever? Like, just, I was just afraid of a lot of things. And so just being able to like, and I think, well, backtracking, because I was afraid of like not achieving certain things or not getting certain things, I think that kind of dampened wanting to dream or like trying to like push myself. And so I know as part of the pleasure path, there was a lot about each week we would talk about like, what are your intentions? Like, what are your desires? And I'm like, I don't know, like, what's the point? Like, what if it doesn't happen? And so like shifting to be like, well, no, like, why not dream? And why not think about what you want? Why not state what your intentions are and see what comes to pass? So that was a really important shift as well. I would think like not being so afraid, trusting myself, trusting my intuition were really important. Yeah.
I actually remember that distinctly. I think there was something around instead of telling yourself it's not going to happen or what if it doesn't, it was like, but what if it does?
Yeah.
Like, what if it works out? You know? Yeah. And you were so, you were so, you were on it, you know, you just like took that and ran with it. And then, you know, I think you graduated the course sometime in the spring, and you and I got a chance to see each other when I was in New York doing a visit out there. But tell me a little bit more about like how the rest of your 2018 shaped up, and then like where are you at now with your relationship with yourself and with, you know, dating and relationship and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see, spring and the rest of the year. Yeah, so I would say that the rest of 2018, like coming out of the program, I think it's like symbolic that I graduated in the spring because I just felt like, you know what, like new things, like I'm out of the fog, like I might not have everything figured out, but like I'm going forward with like hope and a renewed energy. And so I would say like for the rest of the year, I just really tried to focus on just exploring new things. I try to be more intentional about spending time with like friends and just like trying to meet new people or like going to places I wanted to go, whether I had someone to come with me or not. Just to be like, you know, let's just enjoy life and see what happens. Because I didn't want to feel like I was waiting around for someone to come along. So yeah, the rest of the year it went well. Like I got to travel a little bit. I went to Florida and reconnected with like my old elementary school teacher, which was like the coolest thing ever because no one was expecting us to do that. It was really awesome. I went to the Dominican Republic for the first time. I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's see what happens. And so like just trying new things and new experiences. In terms of like dating, after graduating the program, I felt like I was in a better space to just kind of get back out there and like, I don't know, just explore, see what was what. I was still a little nervous about it because I'm like, oh man, like meeting new people is fine, but like guys, like, man, like, I don't know. I was like, oh, what to expect. But you know what? I met some cool people. Like, even though it might not have, some of the interactions didn't go the way that I might have expected them to, but like I was like, you know what, there are good guys out there, like this is a good thing. So I was happy to be able to explore and go on some dates. And I'm like, wow, look at me, I feel like a grown-up, I'm dating. Oh yeah, because I'm like a late bloomer. I didn't start dating until like a few years ago, so I'm like, wow, whole new world out here. So yeah, so the rest of the year, I think after the program, it gave me a good foundation just to kind of trust myself more and to have more self-confidence, I think, was like the biggest takeaway. The biggest theme for last year. It's like, yeah, why not? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And then how about right now? Like, is there someone that you don't have to tell their name or anything, but is there someone that you're connecting with?
Yes, indeed. So, so my ex and I reconnected in the fall, and we're still connected. Like we're still together, and it's been a really good time of yay. It's been a really good time with just enjoying each other's company and like having good conversations. Some of them, you know, just like surface and fun because like we have a good time together, and then just having conversations about like the future, like what do we want our future to look like. I think one of the things I learned from or gained from the program was being okay to be in my power. Um, and so like if I have desires, if there is a specific goal that I want for this relationship, like not being afraid to share that, um, and feeling safe in myself. So like if that's not where that person wants to go, it's like it's okay. Like I don't have to dim my light to make them feel better. So going into the relationship renewed with that mindset, and then knowing that like, yeah, we are on the same page, like that's a relief. Wait, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that wasn't, he and I reconnecting wasn't something that I was necessarily expecting. And I had gotten to a point where like I knew that like I cared about him, like I would care about him. I didn't think it made sense to deny that, but like I had gotten to a place through the program where I learned to let go of him with gratitude. Like I appreciated our relationship and I understood why it ended at the time. And so that left me in a better place to be like, I release you, thank you. And I'm open to whatever, suits my heart when it comes. And so meeting new people in the interim was really good for me, because when he and I reconnected, I was like, yeah, like this is what I want. And in the time that we were apart, he was doing his own work. So like when we reconnected, I was like, okay, like you're ready to meet me. Like we're ready to be at this place together. Like I don't feel like I have to like pull you along. And that was a big shift from where we were before. So yeah.
That is so inspiring, Kaara. I want to dive a little deeper in that, because I think a lot of times, whether it's with an ex or with someone new, women will think, I'm kind of further ahead than him, either in my life or in my career or in my desire to settle down and have a family. And we can sometimes feel really annoyed, like, why are we carrying all of the weight in the relationship? Yeah. But sometimes we don't realize that we're inadvertently being intermasculine, or being, having a lot of expectations without communicating them, or not knowing how to be vulnerable and share what we want. Because a lot of times men, they want to love you, they want to take care of you, and they want to be the best man possible, but they're not exactly sure how. And so you have the most beautiful story of how you took it upon yourself to do the work that you needed, to have an open heart, to feel confident, to speak your truth, to open the world of dating to you. And then when he came back, I loved what you just said, like he could finally see you. Like he could finally see you and all that you had to offer. And you could also finally see him in a place that feels co-creative and like driven by your community, versus having to have, anyway, I won't even say versus what, but I love that transformation of how you went on your own heroine's journey, like your own hero's journey, and you came back to yourself, and that was the most important thing. And then because of that, he stepped back into your life, and you respected yourself and him enough to say, okay, cool, but if we're going to do this, this is what I want. These are my, these are my desires. Yeah. So yeah, I'm so excited for you too.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm like, it's like a weird balance of like taking it one step at a time, but then being like, like, yes. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another beautiful metaphor, taking it one step at a time and being really present, but also allowing ourselves to feel joy and to feel good, and to, like you said something earlier about being able to not dim your light. And that's what you're doing. You're not dimming your light because of him or because of fears. You're just living in a more full, and meaningful way.
Yes, yes. And you mentioned about oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying you mentioned about the masculine and feminine like energy, and I was gonna say that like that's also one of the biggest things that I learned through the program that I hadn't heard before. We know like men are from, what is it? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like we hear that it's kind of glib, but like being able to explore that and understand like what that means and how we have like a mix of both. And for me, I realized that like I operated a lot from a sense of like wanting to protect myself and like keep people out, and I guess learning how to like step into my feminine energy more, being able to relax, like trust the process and not push so hard. It was hard at times, especially like relating to him or to other men, because I'm like, well, I want this to happen. So I want to contact, I want to do this. And it's like, no, like, let them let them come to me. Like, I don't have to chase. And that, like, I see how that makes a difference. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I can even feel and just sense that. Just,
mm-hmm.
your body language is fluid, you dress in bright colors, and those are just external representations of the internal work. But a lot of times women will think that they have to all of a sudden become the damsel in distress, and that's not what it is about at all. It's just about being in a different energetic space because you're still super smart and successful and driven and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So just accessing the different pieces of you.
Yeah.
And then what about like with work stuff? I think there were a few shifts in that in the last year or so as well. But what transpired in the work front since we first connected a while ago?
Oh, okay. Let's see. So I think when we first connected, I had transitioned to actually stepping into more responsibility at work, which was something that I wanted but didn't really know how to tap into. So yeah, ironically, the day that like my breakup happened was the same day my manager called me in and was like, "Hey, we want you to manage this project," and I was like, "Okay." But it's actually the best thing that could happen, not just because like it redirected my energy, but also because it's something that I wanted and it was something that like I enjoyed doing. So yeah, so I was doing that for most of 2018. And then the newspaper industry is always shifting. So we had to like shift some things at my job. So I'm not doing that project anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But I'm still doing editing for our newspaper and our website. And so yeah, still trying to like get a feel for that transition and a change. I'm also like, oh wait, oh, this is private. Anyway, I'm exploring other opportunities. And I will say that like going through the program and just continuing to do work like with my therapist and stuff, like whenever I think like, oh, like I don't know if I want to like leave this place, or I don't know if I should apply for that position because what if I'm not qualified? And like just remembering like, no, like the first voice that we hear is like ourselves. And like if I'm not speaking positively about what I can achieve, then who else is going to believe I can achieve it? So like I've been applying. I actually applied for a job last year and got it, but it was not like a good fit. And I remember being so nervous about like having to like negotiate a salary and then coming back and saying, well, this is not going to be a good fit. And I was like super scared. And then I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm in my power. I am safe. It is safe to be in my power. And I just had the conversation. It was a pleasant conversation, but it was a good feeling to feel empowered to say, I'm thankful for this opportunity, but this is not a good fit right now, because I think before I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just said, okay, sure. And then like been unhappy because I didn't advocate for myself. So I'm learning, I'm growing.
That's huge. Yeah, I don't want to gloss over that. The sense of advocacy for self and knowing that you're safe and it's safe to be in your power are all really important. And I'm glad that you mentioned your therapist too, because a lot of times people are like, well, I have a therapist, so why should I do coaching? But a lot of times therapists are good for holding space, but they don't necessarily give us like the practical tools or the like moment by moment support if we need it over text or all of those things. So do you want to just share really briefly, like for you, what's been the difference or kind of the benefit for having coaching and having therapy? Because I think they're both really helpful, but sometimes we need more of one or the other.
That is a good question. I would, well, good question. Yeah, I think with coaching, at least, well, when I came to you, it was for a very specific purpose. I was like, I want coaching. I want to learn how to be in relationships. I want to learn like how to expand my heart for love and know what this dating life is about. So it's like, I feel like with that, like I can ask the questions and not feel like weirded out, and know that like you're not going to tell me like do this or else like nothing will work, like or anything like that, but you'll give me your perspective and your insight. Until at the end of the day, it's my choice whether I'll take it or not. But I think that it's helpful because I'm going to someone for a specific set of skills and insight. Being able to contact you whenever, text or email, that's really helpful. I think with my therapist, right now it's not as specific or as guided. So like sometimes it's like something happened this week. Let's talk about it and process it. And then it's like whatever, but it's not like a continued, like a series or continued conversation. And well, my therapist like tends to be like kind of objective. So it's not like, oh, well, I mean, they'll ask questions, but it's not so guided. Sometimes it's just kind of like, well, what do you want to do? Okay, you should do that. So sometimes it's helpful to have the coach to just kind of give you that. I don't know how to describe it because, I don't know how to.
You're doing beautifully.
Okay. Because it's like a coach doesn't tell you what to do. They equip you to do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. But I think like in this instance, like coaching is different. Anyway, sorry.
That's super helpful. I love how you explain that. Yeah. You planted a seed in my mind even, which is because sometimes women will ask me like, well, should I do coaching or should I do therapy? Or if I have my therapist, if I work with you, does that mean I have to stop going to therapy? And it's always like, no, you can still continue with that. You can still continue with that. But I liked what you said about, I have a frog in my throat, just a second. I liked what you said about, sometimes something will come up. Things will come up that we'll process with our therapist. And of course, on our group calls in the program, we will process like relationship stuff or dating or whatever. But I loved what you said because it made me think, oh yeah, like a light bulb went off in my head. Therapy is more reactive to what happened recently or what happened years and years and years ago. And coaching is more proactive, like, okay, what do you want and how do you want to feel? And here's what you need to do to get there. And here's some things to consider along the way. And what would be the best, vision for you, for yourself and for your life. So yeah, I loved the way you expressed that. That was great.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Do you have, of course you're great with words. Do you have any last shares or any last pieces of advice for someone watching this or someone who's thinking about doing something differently in their love life?
Oh man. I would say if you're thinking about it, that's a great place to be. And whenever you're ready, you just take that leap to actually do something about it. Because I'd say like I would say like, oh, I want this to happen or I want this to occur, but I didn't really know like what steps to take. And of course, I have family and friends. People have a plethora of advice, lots of blogs and things like that. But I don't think I realized like how beneficial or how helpful connecting with Violet and having a coach would be until like I was actually in it. And until like I had to text her or email her to be like, I have these feelings right now and I have no idea why, like what's happening, and to be able to express that and not receive judgment and to be able to just like to walk through these things. I don't think I realized at the outset like how beneficial and how transformative that would be. So definitely, like, if you want to make a change and believe that a change can happen, definitely take that step to do so. Go for it.
I'm so proud I'm so proud of you for doing the practices and reaching out when you needed it. And, I don't think anything happens by accident. And so I think it's beautiful that we started our work together when you were going through this big transition, and then everything came full circle.
Mm-hmm.
But you trusted yourself and you trusted me, and we began this beautiful journey together. So I'm so proud of you, Kaara. This is so
Oh,
great.
thanks, Violet. Thank
Yeah.
you for everything.
Yeah. Of course, it's my pleasure. So, if anyone watching this is thinking, yeah, I want to do something different in my love life, I'm ready to do different things and get different results and to have some help along the way, you can book a call with us. Just go to violetlang.com/talk, and we will help you whether you're going through a breakup or whether you've been single for a while or whether you're just starting dating and kind of getting out there. There's all different stages of this love journey that we help people through, and you'll get a lot of clarity on that call about what might be going on beneath the surface that we can't always get just from a video or a blog or something like that. So I'll put the link to that in the comments. And Kaara, I'm just sending you a huge hug. I love your story. I love your share, and I love your heart. It's so nice to see you. I feel honored that I've been a part of your life, and I look forward to hearing more of the updates about you and your guy and just you in general and all that's happening. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share as well. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so proud of you. I'm sending you a little love heart. Yes. And I'll see you soon on our alumni calls.
Alrighty. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.